Hey, hey, hey. Happy Thursday. Come on in, pull up a chair. The Gaming Gang Dispatch is in the air. Howdy, 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 gang. Yes, I'm Jeff McAleer, back once again here in the Duct Tape Studios with the Gaming Gang Dispatch. Oh, yeah. So, welcome aboard. If this is your first time visiting, kick back, relax. This is not rocket surgery by any stretch of the imagination. We're just hanging out here talking about tabletop gaming. So, for the most part, we're talking about board games, role-playing games, miniatures games, card games. If it's going on your tabletop, we're probably talking about it. Every once in a while, we'll talk a little bit about PC gaming, like tonight, as well as some pop culture from time to time. But for the most part, it's all tabletop gaming around here. So this is live stream 583. And tonight is Thursday, December 3rd, 2020. As I said, welcome aboard. Like I said, if it's your first time, make yourself comfortable. If you are a longtime viewer hanging out, welcome back. I haven't scared you off yet, surprisingly enough. Anyway, also should mention, if you like this video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, don't forget, ding that bell, because it will not only let you know when the Dispatch streams live Monday through Thursday nights right here on YouTube, but it'll also let you know when I upload other videos, such as my upcoming review for the illustrated At the Mountains of Madness, Volume 1 from Free League Publishing. This will be up later on tonight. It's the first volume of 2 volumes. I'm a little disappointed that they broke it up into 2 volumes. But also want to tell you, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, comics, movies, TV. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Because this is a live stream, that means chat is available on YouTube. It's not on screen. It's one of the ways that I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay. But I do my best to pay attention to chat. So if you want to say howdy, or maybe you got a question, a comment, by all means, please chime in. I will do my best to respond. I know sometimes it zips by pretty quickly in chat. So before we dive into the news tonight, a couple of things. Number one, I do want to mention a good friend of mine, Karen Obrinsky, out in Arizona, where I lived for about 10 years. One of my very closest friends when I lived out in Arizona as well, was undergoing triple bypass surgery today. Yowza. So I will not know how things turned out for a few days, of course. She'll be in intensive care afterwards. So definitely sending good vibes out to Arizona. Hopefully my friend Karen is going to be all right. I think this was kind of like an emergency measure too, because I saw she had, on Facebook, she had mentioned that I didn't realize she has 7 stents for her ticker. And I guess all of them were failing. And it was like, oh my gosh. So I think they rushed her in for the triple bypass. So really got my fingers crossed there. All right. Anyway, do also want to mention something. This is a little discouraging, let's say. So do want to mention Dan from No Enemies here was first out the gate in chat saying howdy. Howdy, Dan. And a great day is with us in chat as well. Anyway, so I did want, and the Madman is here also, just popped into chat. So I finished up the stream last night, and we showed 23 viewers, and I know we had like 10, 11 people in chat, which is, for this show, that's a pretty good chat crowd. So I finish up the stream, and I do my little graphic things that I have to do with the thumbnails. And I'm usually down here in the Duct Tape Studios about a half hour after the stream before I head upstairs and finish up, on my laptop, things that, need to be posted. So anyway, so I finish up and I go upstairs and I see there's like 5 likes on the video. We've talked about this before, and I'm not going to be like, get all crazy about it. But I got to say, if you're hanging out in chat, if you're somebody who tends to watch the live streams that I do and hang out in chat, come on. You can't be bothered to give it a thumbs up? What's up with that? We've talked about it before. I don't get a lot of viewers with the stream, and one of the aspects of the algorithm that YouTube uses is the number of people who like a video helps to populate it in other people's, little sidebar you see all the time, right? Whenever you're watching videos. So if people aren't giving a thumbs up on the videos, then YouTube's not going to be sharing it. Like I said, I'm not going to make a big deal about it, but it was a bit disappointing. And the truth is, I don't have to have chat. I don't. I could be like just about everyone else who covers tabletop gaming, and I just shoot a video, put it out there, and have absolutely no interaction with the audience whatsoever. The vast majority of people who cover tabletop gaming are like that. It's like, to be honest, I think many of them really don't care what you think. So, anyway, just floating that out there. Flaming Huron is in chat. Good to see you, Flaming Huron. So both of our admins are hanging out in chat. Don't make them bust out the ban hammer on you. So I swapped up cups or mugs or whatever you want to call us, because at least this is a little more festive looking than just the white from the little snowman mug, which is in the upper corner. You can see, whoops, up there, way up in the upper corner, you'll see there is the snowman mug. You can probably barely make it out. But yes, at least this looks a little more festive now, doesn't it? Ibram has showed up in chat. Good to see you, Ibram. All right, so let's jump on into the news, because I got a good mixture of news this time out. So first off, arriving next month from Looney Labs is Fantasy Flux. I've got the dope. Flux is a card game in which the cards themselves determine the current rules of the game. By playing cards, you change numerous aspects of the game. How to draw cards, how to play cards, and even how to win. At the start of the game, each player holds 3 cards, and on a turn, a player draws 1 card, then plays 1 card. By playing cards, you can put new rules into play that change. Hey, wait a second, why are we getting all these images coming up? Why, I oughta. Uh-oh. Did I forget to go through here and set up my images correctly? Ay. All right, and of course, Pinky has come down here. Oh, okay. Now she decided. There we go. You might hear her chiming in. Anyway, at the start of the game, each player holds 3 cards. On a turn, the player draws 1 card, then plays 1 card. By playing cards, you can put new rules into play that change numerous aspects of the game. How many cards to draw or play, how many cards you can hold in hand, or keep on the table in front of you, and most importantly, how to win the game. In Fantasy Flux, you want to gather your friends for a party, an adventuring party, that is. Pack up your second breakfasts and set off on a classic quest with your faithful companions, the helpful elf, the dwarven warrior, the gallant swordsman, the wise old wizard, and of course, the humble young hero. Learn from the cranky magic teacher how to use your wand to cast spells like invisibility or fireball. You may need them as you encounter the dreaded pirate, or when you find out that captured princess is actually the mother of dragons. Will you and your fantasy favorites survive the final showdown with the Dark Lord? Fantasy Flux is for 2 to 6 players, ages 8 and up, plays in 10 to 40 minutes. It is going to carry an MSRP of $16 when it arrives in stores in January. So, Ibram says, I'd miss people in chat. Not Ibram, I wouldn't. So the Madman says, Fantasy Flux looks like another Flux-themed game I'm going to be buying. Well, here's the thing. Some people love Flux. Some people despise Flux. I like Flux. It's fine. It's not a game that I will go out of my way to bust out and play, but I don't mind if somebody says, hey, let's play some Flux. That's cool with me. So I just wish, and I know sometimes there's some differences to gameplay as far as the creepers and things like that. Some games have creepers, some don't. But I wish there was a little more variety in the gameplay, as opposed to you're essentially looking to have 2 cards in front of you, as well as that victory card that you can put out there and be like, okay, ta-da, I win. Before anybody changes the rules on you. So Great A says they are not on the Flux train. So the Madman says they had a friend and his family started gaming by beginning with Flux. Yes, it is certainly a gateway game by all means. All right. Let's moving on to another family-friendly game that's actually arriving this month. It's coming from PYTHAGORAS. I always forget. For some reason, that name that always throws me off. Pythagoras is actually, I think, how it's pronounced. Anyway, from PYTHAGORAS Games is Garum. Once again, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. But here's what's cooking with this game. Garum was a fermented fish sauce used as a condiment in the old ages. That's kind of an odd way to term it. Its manufacture and export was an element of prosperity and perhaps an impetus for the Roman penetration of Lusitanian and Hispanian coastal regions. Interesting. I did not know that. Yeah, let's make sure that we got everything set up correctly on this one. Yeah, you know what? I was shooting a review video down here. In fact, it was my Illustrated at the Mountains of Madness review. And I thought I had everything set up correctly with all the images before I jumped into doing my review. And it looks like I forgot. Hey, it's a live show. That's what happens. Nick Level Max is in chat with us. Good to see you, Nick. It's been a while since you popped in to visit with us. Anyway, Garum from today's Portugal and Spain was highly prized in Rome and has now inspired a versatile strategy board game for the whole family, ages 8 and up, that plays with 2 to 4 players. Garum is a tile-laying game which plays in about 30 minutes. It's language independent and features endless replayability due to its board system that ensures no 2 games are alike. In Garum, each player represents a master in the preparation of a specific type of fish sauce. funny. I think of this because they're talking about this fish sauce was a condiment. It was a very popular condiment. So it's kind of like, so like ketchup. It's Roman ketchup. Each player represents a master in the preparation of a specific type of fish sauce and receives a set of 16 Saterian tiles. Each one has 4 spaces filled in by 4 colors in different proportions, though the color that the player is defending is the predominant one. The goal of the game is to play Saterian tiles strategically in order to get a huge number of your own color symbols in selected rows or columns. The greater the influence, the higher the reward. While placing the tiles, players may apply to score, collect some bonuses, and also block their opponent's intents. Whoever scores the most points is the winner. Do want to point out, I believe this company is out of Portugal, so this is an English translation that I don't think was translated all that great. Anyway, the game is for 2 to 4 players, ages 8 and up, plays in around 30 to 45 minutes. And it's going to carry an MSRP of $45 when it arrives later this month. I gotta say, taking a look at this game, it seems like it is kind of a bit of a tile laying game. I don't see where this fish sauce theme is coming in, though. I don't know. I don't know if I feel like I'm making ancient Roman condiments with this game. Now, I'm not saying that this is not a good game, because I do believe that this has been nominated for some various awards, especially for a family-friendly board game as well. So, kind of interesting. Moving right along, let's talk a little PC gaming, because this week's Epic Games freebie has arrived. I've got the dish on. Cave Story Plus. Let's make sure that we got the correct images in here. Yes, we do. We're good. Arguably the most well-known indie game of all time, Cave Story features a completely original storyline wrapped with personality, mystery, and hours of fast-paced fun. Cave Story is an action-adventure game from the critically acclaimed independent designer Daisuke Amaya, or Pixel to his fans. Overflowing with unmatched charm and character, Cave Story takes you into a rare world where a curious race of innocent rabbit-like creatures called mimigas? Let's say mimigas run free. You wake up in a dark cave with no memory of who you are, where you came from, or why you're in such a place. Uncovering Mimiga Village. Wouldn't it be uncovering a Mimiga Village? You discover that the once carefree Mimigas are in danger at the hands of a maniacal scientist. The Mimigas' only hope rests squarely on the shoulders of a quiet and monsieur boy who can't remember his own name. Run, jump, shoot, fly, and explore your way through a massive action adventure reminiscent of classic 8 and 16-bit games. Take control and learn the origins of this world's power. Stop the delusional villain and save the Mimiga. Hello. Yes. So, Cave Story Plus is available absolutely free over at the Epic Games Store through December 10th. Normally, I would share like a launch video, but they really don't have any. And it seems to be there's a very odd story behind this game where I guess the publisher had been okay with people using their code to make other games, and now suddenly they're putting out cease and desist, and I don't know. All I can tell you is this is free. It's our freebie game. So, a grade 8 points out that garum is the fermented fish sauce. Yeah, that's what we were talking about. It's a fish sauce condiment that the Romans loved. I don't know. I've never had it. I have no interest in it. I'm not a huge fish fan in the first place. Anyway, talk about Epic Games. So this is your freebie this week. Next week is going to be awesome. Unless things change, because we have seen that happen. We've seen Epic Games sit there and say, hey, this is what's free next week, and then suddenly that's not what's free next week. But according to their website, next week we'll see Pillars of Eternity, the definitive edition, as well as Tyranny, are both going to be absolutely free. Both of those computer role-playing games are on the agenda to be the freebies next week. That is very, very cool. I never played Tyranny, probably for the fact of you're actually playing an evil character, but I certainly have played Pillars of Eternity, and it's good, especially if you're a fan of the old Baldur's Gate. Big thumbs up. All right, moving right along. There was a pretty big news piece that popped up today, if you're a role-playing game fan, which I've already shared over at thegaminggang.com. Free League Publishing announced today they've begun taking pre-orders for a new Alien role-playing game source book. Here's the scoop on the Colonial Marines Operations Manual. Armor-piercing rounds sizzle through your defenses. Acrid smoke chokes you. Chemical attacks melt your armor while bioweapons turn your insides out. It's a living hell. But none of that's as bad as you... that didn't come across right. But none of that's as bad as the flashes of gnashing metal teeth that terrorize you every time you try to close your eyes. Welcome to War on the Razor Edge of Space, Marine. Not Space Marine, but Space Marine. Free League Publishing and 20th Century Studios have today announced the Colonial Marines Operations Manual, a complete campaign module for the award-winning official Alien role-playing game. Priced at $39.99, the lavishly illustrated hardback book provides all the tools you'll need to run a full open-world campaign as the iconic Colonial Marines. You joined the Corps because you wanted to see the stars. You believe in duty and honor. You've made friends for life here and watched plenty of them get cut down by shrapnel. No one pays you to ask why, just to follow orders. Protect and serve the citizens and colonies of the Outer Rim colonies. That's kind of weird. No matter what the cost, now lock and load your pulse rifle, Marine. You've got a job to do. This will feature history and organization, the inside story of the illustrious Colonial Marine Corps, expanded character creation rules for grunts of all kinds, an extensive chapter with new gear, gloriously illustrated, the framework and backstory for a Colonial Marines campaign called the Frontier War, factions on the frontier, the powers that be and their dark agendas, as well as 5 thrilling missions for your Marines, playable in any order, as well as the showdown against a deadly enemy. The end game is finally revealed. The hardcover Colonial Marines Operations Manual for the Alien role-playing game can be pre-ordered right now for $39.99. It does have an expected release in March of next year. Nice. I know this was a big deal earlier today. For one, it's nice to see Free League Publishing is trying to embrace more of a campaign game for Alien, because so far what we've seen outside of the core book, which has rules for campaign gameplay, everything that's been released has been cinematic. So they're not necessarily one session, but they are one-shot adventures. So it is nice to see there is some focus here on trying to put together something more as a campaign game, ongoing adventures with Colonial Marine characters. My final news piece, there is a pretty interesting looking fantasy RPG adventure. It's available in PDF from Aegis and Gorgon, or Gorgon. I've got the skinny on The Last Barrow. In ages long past, someone built a barrow for a prince and laid him to rest, or so they thought. The bodies of his wife and a few of his descendants found their way there as well before the barrow fell into disuse and was, in time, forgotten. And now, perhaps, after centuries have slipped by, the hour may have arrived for the prince to return, and with him, relics of great power. Let me pop in here real quick because I've actually got some pretty cool images for this. This is what caught my eye, and this is why I wanted to share it with you today as a news piece. There we go. That should change it up in just a moment. Set in the known world setting of the Artesia graphic novels and the novel The Barrow, but suitable for use in almost any fantasy world with minimal adaptation, The Last Barrow details the paths to a hidden barrow mound, the stone circle that sits atop it, its various contents, and the dark presence that awaits within. It includes several appendices with statistics and suggested rules to allow use of the scenario with the Artesia Adventures in the Known World role-playing game, the 5th edition of the world's most popular role-playing game, published as open game content, and the current edition of RuneQuest from Chaosium. Aha. Also includes a digital art and map pack as a separate download for use as handouts to players. This 104-page PDF is available at DriveThruRPG for $9.99. Gotta say, this looks pretty interesting. Although, I would hope that there's a printer-friendly version of this, because first couple of images with that dark background, I would think that'd be a little hard on the eyes reading that for a while. But I thought it was interesting that not only is this available for their own homebrew RPG, but 5th edition and RuneQuest. Pretty wild. And of course, talking about DriveThruRPG, the Dispatch as well as the gaming gang itself are affiliated with the One Bookshelf sites. And if you are going to visit, say, DriveThruRPG, please visit thegaminggang.com first. You'll see our banner ads. Click on one of those. And that way, if you happen to make a purchase, I get a little portion of that sale. And they all add up. So, a Great A is asking, Jeff, are you okay? Your enunciation is a bit off. I think I'm all right. Why? Because I kept saying borrow? The borrow rights? So like Flaming Heron says, I always say barrow, like wheelbarrow. Yeah, but I've also heard it borrow, like the borrow rights from Lord of the Rings. So I don't know. But no, I'm fine. A little distracted because I didn't have the images set up right, which I could have swore I'd taken care of. But then again, we do know that it seems like the Solid State Drive doesn't always save stuff the right way, which I actually have a new one on the way. I did order one on Cyber Monday, so I'm waiting for that to arrive. So I was talking yesterday about how I've got stuff that was on the horizon heading to me, and I couldn't remember one of the games. I knew it was from Dark Gate Games, but I couldn't remember the title. And it's Dark Rituals Malus Maleficarum, which is supposed to be a pretty big box. So I did receive a box from It's going to take me a second here. From Dragon Dawn Productions, they sent me Perdition's Mouth, Abyssal Rift, the revised edition. And I'm telling you right now, this box is really hefty. It's like, holy cow. And as you can see, it is pretty deep. So this is a co-op dungeon delve, but it's very Euro game styled. So I am going to be taking a peek at this. So I will do an unboxing shortly for this. I believe they also have a Kickstarter that they're planning on releasing. And I think it might be this, because they also sent me Darwinning. But yeah, this is popular with Charlie Sheen. I'm Darwinning. So this looks more like a family game. And then there's a little promo card that came with it as well. But along with Perdition's Mouth, Abyssal Rift, I also got Perdition's Mouth Hideout. So I will do an unboxing of this as well with the core game. So we'll take a peek at that, see what it looks like. So that's kind of cool. And then, like I said, I've got this big, well, I mean, like I said, that one box I picked up, that big box, it's got to be, no joke, it's got to be about 8 pounds. I'm like, holy cow. But tomorrow I will get the Dark Rituals, which supposedly have got the core game, an expansion. There's a bunch of stretch goals that were unlocked. So a bunch of minis as far as I know. So we're going to be taking a look at that. I had kind of considered maybe doing a live unboxing and taking a look at it. I don't think I'm going to do that because I'm going to take a peek at the different miniatures close up, and it's probably going to be a pretty long video. And I don't think a lot of people watching the live stream would be wanting to sit there and be like, yes, another miniature. Okay, fine. Anyway, got some other stuff on the horizon. As I already mentioned, the review for the first volume of the Illustrated At the Mountains of Madness will be up later on tonight. And I got to point out, I'm not aware of the second volume being out yet. All I know is the first volume is available, and I think that just came out last month. But stay tuned. I will have my review for the Lost Ruins of Arnak. I'll be popping that up this weekend as well. So there's plenty of goodies. I've got some Warhammer Fantasy roleplay reviews. So there's a lot of stuff, a lot of stuff cooking. So we should be in good shape. Anyway, other than that, that is it for the news tonight. I don't see anything cooking here in chat. Although I have to point out, I thought it was very interesting, the announcement today that all of Warner Brothers films for 2021 are going to premiere both in theaters as well as HBO Max on the same day. I thought that was pretty wild. I was like, huh. I was like, very nice, very nice. Boy, I'll take, and you have to, the way I kind of thought about it too was kind of a slap in the face to Disney, right? Here it's like, okay, so if you've got a subscription to HBO Max, you're going to see, obviously enough, we already know Wonder Woman 84 is going to be Christmas Day, but you're going to be able to see Dune. You've got Tom and Jerry. You've got Godzilla versus Kong. So there's quite a few movies that Warner was going to be, rolling out in 2021, and it's all going to be on HBO Max. So if you've got a subscription, you're going to see it. I believe it's only going to be for a month. That is the deal. That the first month it will be on movies don't hang out in theaters anymore for a month. They haven't for a long, long time. But I don't know. I have no idea. So Great A says, I see him a little slower and less snappy. Like I said, I was just a little distracted there because, and of course I'm kicking myself for not having the images set up in the slides and that. But I thought that was pretty cool. I was like, wow, that's very interesting. And of course, Disney sat there and they're like, oh, you want to see Mulan? That'll be $30. It's like, yeah, right. All right. Anyway, so Melwinia says GMT games in my wallet do not like each other. Yeah, well, a little break from GMT. So I know there's more P500 stuff we're going to talk about next week. But as of right now, I don't know. I don't know. So Flaming Heron says, are they not charging a premiere price on top of your subscription on Disney Plus? So this is a way around that? I'm not sure what Flaming Heron means by that. Saying that Warner Brothers is not affiliated with Disney. They made a deal for basically all of their films coming out in 2021 are going to stream on HBO Max at the same time. I did know that there was some negotiations going on. Like, for an example, Godzilla versus Kong, Netflix was trying to get that. Netflix was trying to get their hands on that. They were trying to, of course, get exclusive rights to it. And I guess HBO Max just was like, hey, you know what? We're going to open up our coffers here. So I got to say, I mean, that's pretty cool. It is an example of what we may see the future of movie going, even though, according to Warner Brothers, it's only for next year. And then it'll be back to the usual, theater going experience. But I don't know. Once you open that genie and you let that genie out of the bottle, how easy is it going to be to put that genie back in? So Melwinius from York has been hanging out and is talking about some of their recent purchases from GMT. SPQR, that is a big box for certain. Fleming Heron says, reason I say that is Black Widow is on Disney Plus, to my understanding, so it's not Marvel movies. Yeah, but Marvel movies aren't through Warner Brothers. Just like the Spider-Man movie, is it Spider-Man or is it something else that they've got in the works? I know they're doing another Venom. I know they're doing what is it, Black Cat and Silk? What is it, Silk Spectre or something like that? I don't follow Marvel as well as I probably should. But I have not heard anything about Black Widow yet. Now, there was some grumbling because of this big announcement from Warner Brothers that Disney was going to announce something about Black Widow, but if they had in the past few hours, I had not seen it. So, but as far as I understand, the discussion was the MCU movies would not go to Disney Plus. That's what I had heard. That was kind of a hard line drawn in the sand. Was no, the MCU movies were going to be released in theaters or not at all. They would just continue to push them further back. I don't know. So, I mean, Warner Brothers assumes that theaters are going to remain closed or have very reduced seating for most of 2021. And from what we hear, as far as the vaccines rolling out, they're still saying that, most Americans won't be able to get vaccinated until June, maybe July of next year. So we'll find out. Kabuki Kid has popped in just as I'm getting ready to wrap up. But yeah, so that was what was cooking there. But I got to take a peek. I have to double check to see if this is coming to Kickstarter or not. It's in German and English because I think, if I remember correctly, I think Dragon Dawn Productions are a German company. So Flaming Heron says, sorry for any misunderstanding on my part. I get that it's only Warner Brother properties. Yeah, going to HBO Max. So as far as I understand, nothing has changed as far as Disney Plus. They may still go. I mean, it's very possible they could sit there and say, well, Black Widow, yeah, we'll do Black Widow and put that out on Disney Plus if you want to pay $30. The thing that strikes me that might be an issue, and I'll just real quickly point this out and then we'll wrap up the show. What I think would be an issue is piracy. Because it's pretty easy to save a copy of anything that streams. It's just a fact of life. You know, it's just not too difficult to save. So as opposed to somebody downloading some crappy cam that was shot in some theater, you'll have pristine, even like 4K, probably, streams that are recorded. So I don't know. I have no idea. But I think that anything that ends up going like right to streaming, they're going to lose a chunk of change as far as the digital sales, which they bank on later on down the line. I don't know. Like I said, just an idea. Oh, one last thing I should point out, talking about streaming. I binge watched the rest of Upload last night. So I binge watched episodes 2 through 10 after I finished up the show. I think that's a really good show. Not as comedic as I was expecting, but nonetheless, I thought it was a very interesting concept. I thought it was a very, very interesting show. And then it turned out, because I had mentioned I was really surprised how the first episode was like 45 minutes. And I was like, is this not going to be kind of like a traditional 22 to 25 minute kind of sitcom half-hour slot? And sure enough, one of the episodes was so short, it was like, what the hell? What is this? The Mandalorian? What's going on here? It was like 20 minutes long. It was funny. I started watching it, and then all of a sudden it was over. And I'm like, did I just suddenly black out? What the hell's going on here? And I look at it like, oh, it's only 20 minutes. Holy cow. Anyway, so Flaming Heron says, I don't know. Figure people who pirate are going to pirate, and those who won't will still pay. Yeah, I mean, of course, there's a lot of folks who are not going to pirate anything ever. I'm just saying that the temptation will be much stronger knowing that, well, you know, I pay for HBO Max. I'm not saying I do. I'm just saying the thought process is, well, I pay for HBO Max. It's not a big deal if I save that stream as an MP4 or whatever. I don't know. It's just, like I'm just saying, it'll be easier for people to pirate what's being released on HBO Max than it normally would be. Or at least it'll be out there, you know, in the wild right after it airs. So Kabuki Kid says they get HBO through cable and they get HBO Max by default. Nice. Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's nice to see HBO finally has tried to consolidate, because the different offerings they had made no sense. Okay, so we got HBO Max, but we got HBO Go, and they're not the same. And of course, we had HBO. It's like, okay. Alrighty, that is it for tonight's show. Of course, you probably already know I don't do a stream on Friday, so this is wrapping up my week. But, of course, I'll be back next Monday. And, of course, if you like this video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't yet. And if you subscribe, ding that bell. Because not only will it let you know when the stream airs live Monday through Thursday right here on YouTube, also tell you when I upload other videos, such as tonight's review of the first volume of the Illustrated At the Mountains of Madness from Free League Publishing. Of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Those of you who hung out and watched on chat, thank you very much. Always appreciate it. Appreciate you taking some time out to hang out, keep me company. Of course, I know there are folks out there who don't have an opportunity to watch live. Maybe you're even watching on Memorex. I don't know. But I can tell you one thing I do know is I certainly appreciate you watching as well. Everybody enjoy the rest of your Thursday or Friday or whatever day it happens to be. And of course, have a great weekend. I'll be back on Monday. And as I wrap up all of my videos during the never-ending pandemic, I really do hope all of you out there are being smart and staying safe. Oh, you're still here. Well, if that's the case, if you'd like to subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel, by all means, click right here. And if you'd like to check out one of our recent live streams, click right up top. And if you want to roll the dice and see what the algorithm for YouTube recommends, click right here. And of course, thank you once again for watching. And gang, please stay safe and wear a mask.